Is it true to say that you'd like to have a calmer mind, less stress, meditate more, prioritize yourself without feeling guilty, and yet have more energy to do what uplifts you and hear your intuition? Have a sense of alignment and purpose, like getting home from work and feeling like you made a difference, and feeling like the time you spend at work is actually contributing to the greater good? Like you're not just spending your time for, a means to an end. Like you want to see more manifesting of what you want. Is that all true?
Welcome to the Be Happy Now show. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. I'm Claudia-Sam. If you know that you're here for a bigger reason, this is the place to be. Together, we ditch the self-care guilt and quit the go with less fear and more trust. Tune in to living life in alignment with your full potential. The Be Happy Now show starts now.
Hey, welcome. I'll share a little bit behind the scenes what it looks like once you're in the Soul Connector Circle Telegram group, when you're in our membership site, what you can find. I'm going to answer some of the most asked questions that I get. Things like, okay, but life is too busy for me. How am I supposed to, focus on me when there's all of these other things happening? Life is happening. This isn't the right time. Or I don't have enough money, or I still have this to pay. I'd rather wait until later. We're just going to talk about all of that. And I'm going to share one of the biggest mistakes that I see people who are creative and who deep down they have this project that they want to birth out into the world. And I'm going to share one of the biggest mistakes that I see. I want to premise that I know this takes courage. I know that by touching gently, dipping your toes into the well of creating a change for yourself and getting out of the comfort zone, that, well, it might be scary. So I really want to be real with you and have you see that I see you, and that I understand that it does require us to get uncomfortable a little bit so that we can access our authentic self and get to know, well, who am I really? What do I want? What do I need? How can I go about actually living the life on track that I want to live? So this is where we're going to discuss all of that. Let's start with one of the biggest mistakes that I see those creative, at their core people who want to put their projects out into the world make, is think that there'll be a better time to get started than now. And that if they keep busy doing a bunch of non-related things, pretty much focusing their energy on everything and everyone else than themselves and their passions, they're actually tricking their brains. This is the mistake. They're tricking their brains to think that they're having momentum and that things are working for them because they're busy, they're doing things. Is it true to say that you'd like to have a calmer mind, less stress, meditate more, prioritize yourself without feeling guilty, and yet have more energy to do what uplifts you and hear your intuition? Have a sense of alignment and purpose, like getting home from work and feeling like you made a difference, and feeling like the time you spend at work is actually contributing to the greater good? Like you're not just spending your time for, a means to an end. Like you want to see more manifesting of what you want. Is that all true? Because you may be wondering, okay, but how can I do that? If life keeps getting in the way, motivation levels lower, I got bills to pay, the intuition may be blurred, so it gets unclear what to do and where to go. Because if you're like most of my clients, you may think that time is limited and that the only way to accomplish things, pay the bills, by doing more, often unrelated to your project things, which may take you to the thought that you're too busy to really pause. You're too busy to be with what you really want. Because ultimately, my friend, it means that you might need to make a change. And that might be scary, right? To make a change. Here's what happens. The mind stays in control here. The mind thinks it's too scary to go there, so I'm just going to keep busy. I'm going to believe that there's all these other things I need to do first. And you're not the only one. It's just like a safety protection mechanism from the part of the mind that is the ego, that is fear-based. So it has you feeling worthy by staying in the safety and the belief that there's too much going on for you. So you should wait until this other thing finishes, or when this bill is paid, or when that amount of money comes in, because only then you'll have more, you'll be better, you'll have more space. I got news for you. It's an illusion. If I have more things to do, then I'll feel more accomplished. That's a lie. A lie. Who do you know has a president or prime minister-like calendar, very busy, like doesn't feel as accomplished as they'd like on the inside, and still require coffee and wine to get them through the days? Not saying coffee and wine shouldn't be drank. I'm saying they require it. It's like a have to, need. It's a need to keep going. How many people do you know like that? I'm not judging. I'm just saying I used to be them. I used to be that. My friends would say, gosh, you're like in politics. You're like a politician. Your calendar is so busy. We had to plan to see each other like 3 weeks in advance. How many people do you hear say, thank God it's Friday? But then they spend the weekend doing chores and attending events that actually drag their energy down instead of fueling up their tank. So they start Monday again feeling like, when's Friday going to come? Yeah, that's like living this way is like living in the shoulds and the have tos. And it's like if the tallest flower in a garden stopped getting enough water by choice to let the other flowers catch up. But by lack of water, the flow, that flower actually gets outgrown by the other watered flowers. And eventually, she lacks nourishing. So the others may have caught up, but she's actually dying. She's not nourished enough. She's not nourished enough to keep up. She wanted to give all her water somewhere else, wanting other, that doesn't, it's really a choice. Living life like this is not to your benefit. It's not to their benefit if you're thinking about a specific person here. So since the choice is yours, let's get curious. Will you keep staying in control and hiding behind being busy and that lie that there isn't enough time or money or whatever else? Or will you get out of your comfort zone just a little bit? Get curious about the impact you're really here to create. And if you're ready for a change, you don't have to do it alone. That's why you can join the Soul Connector Circle. The doors are now open for you. When you become a Soul Connector, you get to see your worthiness in choosing you. Yeah. We also have fast action bonuses that I'd love for you to check out if you go to soulconnectorcircle.com. When you're committed to you amp up your self-worth. It's not by the other things you do or by the beliefs that if you keep being busy that your self-worth happens. It happens actually from within. So then your actions are driven by worthiness instead of having your worthiness driven by actions. If it's about time that you see the abundance of time and resources and possibilities all around you, if you're open to having more confidence to take aligned actions with what feels right to you since like yesterday, if you want more time in the day, then we learn this in the Back on Track experience. Presence on all 5 layers of yourself is the most life-affirming way to not only amp up your worthiness, raise your confidence, have less stress, less worry, have a regretless life, but it's also the most life-affirming way to avoid burnout. to set boundaries so that you can start living your weekend like it's fueling your tank instead of draining it, and feeling like your whole week is not something that you're waiting for the weekend through, but you're actually living how you want to be living the whole week. Presence is also one of the most life affirming ways to have more time and be productive, because you slow down to be aware of what's going on and you make decisions that support you instead of feeling like you're catching up everything else around you. You're no longer that flower that grows tall, but that actually gets outshined by the others around her because she doesn't have enough nourishment to speak up and to share her voice and to put her projects out into the world. And so presence is also a way to live through life's ups and downs with sanity while staying in your power. Because, when you're in the soul connector circle, you're becoming a soul connector, you're practicing presence. You're not like immune to life's ups and downs and emotions, and you're not immune to it. You're just able to see them and have a rapport, an in control rapport to life, because you're in control of what you see in the now and what meaning you make up in the mind. And you get to be with the emotions instead of fearing them or wanting to hide them or wanting to push them down. You're in a dance. You're a participant in the dance of the ego and soul of life instead of feeling like you're being knocked off track by life. Right? You become a soul connector. So the Soul Connector Circle, if you have not yet checked it out, I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can get a little bit behind the scene. We're not behind the scenes, but you'll get to see, yeah, we'll go behind the scenes. But I'll share with you the Soul Connector Circle page so that when you actually go here, soulconnectorcircle.com, and you'll get to read, is this for me? Does it sound like me? If I continue, like, for example, walking on eggshells at home and feeling stuck, living up to people's expectations, if these continue, then I might have to say goodbye to all of this. And what you're going to get inside the Soul Connector Circle is developing a life lasting practice of living in the present moment, prioritizing yourself without feeling bored, guilty, unproductive, or knocked off track by the ebb and flows of life. You'll get to strengthen the habit of listening to your intuition instead of letting the head lead all the time. Just read all this and see what speaks to you. And so now we're getting to really how it works. The Soul Connector Circle is a 6-month group program that helps you ride the waves of life through at least 2 seasons. And you get daily pocket coaching messages. So what these are pretty much me in your pocket, my voice, speaking into specifically what you as a soul connector are experiencing through the 5 layers of the self. Remember the 5 layers of the self. Can I switch my screen share for a moment? Remember that the 5 layers of the self actually take up who you are. You're not just this body, you're not just the mind, you're all of it. So let me just stop the share very quickly and have you see that again. Okay. So when we practice presence on all of these layers of who we are, we might be, for example, wanting to stop having headaches. Headaches can be a sign of pressure. Okay. It can feel like you're putting yourself under underlying pressure that you may not be aware is there. And P.S., it's not your fault. Pressure can come from society, from the need to pay these bills, from the beliefs that you need to do more and keep busy and wait until there's an illusionary better time to focus on you and focus on your passions. And so when we practice presence, we allow the sneaky thoughts of pressure to come up to the surface, and we deal with them so that we can create more space inside the mind, inside our hearts, to stop letting the head lead, stop letting life push us around, but rather have control inside ourselves control as in choosing what we spend our time with, choosing what thoughts we spend thinking, and choosing how we nourish our bodies. And so in terms of pocket coaching, let me stop the share here so we can see each other. What's really special about the Soul Connector Circle is that you and I were in constant communication. So if you're feeling like, oh, like my lower back hurts, P.S. Lower back is directly in link with your womb of creativity. It's linked with abundance, with financial flow. And so maybe there are beliefs about feeling stuck financially. Maybe there are beliefs about who am I to write my book or start my business or whatever it is. So we address that. We don't let the lower back thing just be a lower back thing. So you share with me what's going on with you, and I create messages for you so that you can feel like you're addressing the root of what's going on for you. So how it actually works is that every day, weekday, you receive a pocket coaching message that is personalized to the requests of the Soul Connectors. And inside our Telegram group, which is where you receive the messages, you can search for there's over 500 coaching messages, meditations, prompts, motivational messages. So you can not only receive the new message that I create for you on a daily basis, but you can also search the database of content that's there to support you with what's going on. And so that means that inside the Soul Connector Circle community on Telegram, I coach you. You share what's on your heart. You share whatever feels like it's in the way, whatever feels like it's pushing you off track. And you also get to celebrate. Celebrate whenever you feel like this is feeling good. This is feeling in alignment. Here's what I'm choosing for myself so that you can have accountability to keep going on the track that you're at. So coaching is not about like fixing you because you're not broken. Coaching is about seeing what's working for you and seeing what your own recipe is to keep doing it again and again and again through the waves of life. So when you're in the Soul Connector Circle, we're together for 2 seasons. So you can actually see and take part, experience in the ups and downs of life yourself. We also give you access to a success and alignment tracker, which is pretty much your way to communicating, another way for you to tune into yourself and go, okay, where am I headed? Where do I want to go? What project am I working on? What do I want my intention to be? What do I want my focus to be? What has worked for me? Ooh, what would I want to work differently? Then what could I ask Claudia-Sam? And that helps us to keep you accountable. Every month, we also have an envisioning session, which is pretty much our way to help you set an intention and a focus for the month so that every month you have clarity, you know where you're headed, so that when you answer the success and alignment tracker, it feels like you're on track consistently because you keep checking in with yourself and you have accountability from us to hold you up to the standards of your higher self. I'll say that again in a different way. My job is to help you be accountable to your higher self. I hold you up to your higher self, not to your ego, fear-based, there isn't enough time lie. I help you stay in alignment with your higher self. That means the 5 layers of yourself, who you really are, what's the impact you're here to create. I'm here to help you hear that and live in alignment with that. And this is a gift from me to you. When you're in the Soul Connector Circle, twice a year, every 6 months, we have a client-only event that you get to be the first to learn and receive teachings that are channeled through me and that are based on what the community has requested. So for example, we did have a Get Your Trust Recipe VIP event last time, where we created an equation to building trust so that trust became an action instead of just this thing that is accessible when you're not in worry. We also for one time, which is actually one of the bonuses you can receive, we created 3 steps to setting loving boundaries. When you're in the Soul Connector Circle, you can follow these steps so that you can communicate what you want with your loved ones from a place of love, from a place of here's the order of things that I get to say, while tuning into what you want instead of just pointing the finger at others thinking what they're doing is wrong. Okay, you get to suggest what you want instead. So you can watch this video. I talk into another mistake that I see in the people that are about to work with us. You have some success stories here. And you can read again if this is for you. There's a list of what this may be that you might resonate with. So if you're a people pleaser who wants out, for example, or if you want to deepen your spirituality, if you know that there's a bigger power at play, this may not be for you. If you believe that spirituality goes against God's will, it may not be for you. If you don't want to be involved in making the world a better place, if you're experiencing a deep depression at this time, I suggest that you find a therapist or a counselor first, and then therapy and coaching work well together. It's just that if you are feeling in the deep low of what is the effing point, then maybe let's handle that first so that you have energy to then rise up the energy frequency scale. On the page, there are examples of pocket coaching messages that you receive so that you can actually go and listen to them and check out, what would I receive? What does it sound like? How long are the messages? They're between like 1 minute and 5 minutes. Okay. You can watch testimonial videos and bonuses. This is one of the really cool things because we have fast action bonuses that are about to expire. So when you join the Soul Connector Circle, you have about 2,700 in additional bonuses, including the 3 steps to setting loving boundaries, 22 affirmations for confidence. I'll let you look at those bonuses, but really those that are expiring soon is $549 in fast action bonuses, including one of the most popular modules of the Tune-In program, which helps you to shift from closed to crack open so that you can prevent relationship disharmony, gain clarity through emotional breakthrough. And I actually, on camera, go through a wave of emotion so that you can feel like you can go through the waves too. So I'm really being vulnerable there. So this has proven to be really, really supportive for people who want to develop a relationship with their emotions. I also share with you one of the popular meditations that works for my clients in activating peace and calming their busy mind. And you also get to have a one-on-one back on track activation call with me, which pretty much what we'll do is that we'll outline a personalized game plan for you so that it feels like over the next 6 months in the Soul Connector Circle, you know where you're going, you have clarity on what's your focus. And in other words, I really wrote it like this. This is a high level, no bullshit overview, okay, of where to focus your energy for the most optimal results. So if you want the bonuses, I suggest that you hop on this before the fast action bonuses expire. And again, if you have any questions about what you'll find in the Soul Connector Circle, just reach out to me in our Telegram group or by email. I'm here to answer your questions. I did want to quickly show you in Telegram. Are you following me? This is an example of our one-way communication pocket soul coaching channel. So this means that every day you receive a message and you just click on here to receive the message itself and to have it play. For example, that week, if you see, we had a self-love theme. So sometimes we will have a 5-day series specifically geared towards what's going on. So if you're working towards, for example, releasing that headache, releasing the lower back pain, releasing pressure, then you might find that I will create a 5-day series to go in alignment with that so that it feels like you're actually having a step-by-step to move forward. The cool thing about the Soul Connector Circle, I mean, one of the cool things is that there is nothing like it. I've been in programs before where there were pocket coaching messages, but they weren't geared towards me specifically. And the group was so big that it could have, been really good for two people in the whole group, but not for the majority. And so in the Soul Connector Circle, clients, participants, members have said that they really feel heard and seen because they get to have a personalized attention from me. So we're a cozy group. So you get your voice heard, you get to be seen. And if if you've ever experienced what group magic does, someone asks something, especially in a small group, when someone asks something or is going through a specific thing in life, like, oh my gosh, I want to be able to say no to this. How do I say no without looking rude or whatever? How to say no or communicating what I want without feeling bad. Well, you'll find that for someone else, that'll be like, oh my gosh, I've wondered that too. So we play with letting the magic of the group happen and trusting the intuitive messages that flow through me to coach and support you with. So what I showed you is one of the channels that you would be added to on Telegram. I'm not going to show you yet the other one because it's private and we have names of the members and participants in there. So to keep their privacy, I'm not going to show you. But as soon as you enter the Soul Connector Circle, you get to have access to this two-way communication Soul Connector Circle Telegram group. And then that's where you get to share your celebrations, insights from the messages you receive if you want to, and we get to have ongoing conversation. If this sounds like a lot, please know that everyone in the Soul Connector Circle uses SCC their way. So some people do listen daily and share insights every day. Some people listen daily and share insights once a week. Some people listen to all the messages at once over the weekend and hardly ever share insights. Sometimes they'll share celebrations or questions. But the whole point here is to release have-tos and shoulds. So even though that's here for you, you get to choose what this journey is like for you. It requires trust in your ability to choose you. And I'm here to remind you that you are worthy of that as well. I hope that I've answered some questions by talking a lot. And I look forward to any more questions that you have. I hope that you take me up on the additional $549 in bonuses that you get for free by enrolling now and choosing you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
You've been listening to the Be Happy Now show with me, Claudia-Sam. Flex your soul connection muscle and be your inner guide to fulfillment and purpose. You are worthy of being you and of connecting to what stops you from living the life you are meant to live. Access more soul connection coaching at claudiasamcoaching.com.